Well, hello there, friends, and welcome to the Monday Show 46. I'm your host,
Mhm.
Wes. With me, as always, my good friend, Roots. Roots, let me tell you, man, Monday is here, and boy, does it feel like Monday. I am exhausted, man. How are you?
Yeah, Monday's the end of your week, though, right? This is your day off. You're like get to relax. You just got off this morning, well, early morning, right?
No, I've been off for a while, dude. I've been
Oh,
off for a week.
okay. Well, then you're not working. You're still tired and exhausted. Yeah, I'm exhausted. It's Monday, and we got through it, and yeah, no technical issues. So I'm not have nothing to complain about. So,
No, man, I was up into the wee hours of the night, chugging away at my backlog for the backlog report today, and I was going to take a nap, right around noontime, and then we start to hear these rumors that the PlayStation 5 is going up for pre-order in the mid-afternoon. So I got a little bit of a nap, but not nearly as much as I would have liked because I wanted to be ready.
yeah, yeah, I hear you. Well, and I was sitting there watching as well, and nothing happened, man. I didn't pre-order. I didn't get the PlayStation Amazon locked. I figured I'll lock it into Amazon since they won't charge me until it ships. So, but no
Yeah,
go.
something happened. I mean, all of the major retailers put up these brand new PS5 landing pages. So if you go to their websites, there's a nice, pretty display now that shows all of the games and all of the accessories and the consoles. But no pre-order, no pricing, no pre-order information. None of the stuff that this guy on Twitter had told everybody. And get this, Roots. This guy, he's a relatively unknown. And then about 6 weeks ago, he tells people when the PlayStation games reveal is going to drop, and it turns out he's right about that. So now everybody believes that this guy is some credible insider.
Not anymore.
Uh, right. So then he comes out and tells us that pre-orders are going to go live today. And I mean, Forbes ran with it, IGN ran with it. All these media sources covered it like it was truth. And here we are, everybody with credit cards in hand, but no pre-orders.
And no date, no price, nothing. Zip. We got
Exactly.
excited for nothing though. It was kind of exciting.
Now
Uh,
I have been watching Twitter like a hawk since then, and I did come across a guy who said he's got friends at GameStop who were saying that the pre-orders are going to go live Friday. But I mean, you can take that with a grain of salt. Maybe they will, maybe they won't. But it was just some dude. It wasn't, anybody with any kind of clout behind them.
mm. What do you think it's going to be? 500?
I think the disc version is going to be 500. I think that the digital is going to be, 450, somewhere around there.
Cool. So 450, no brainer. You're getting the disc. 400. Wes has a dilemma. He has to think about it.
I was ready to buy the disc version today. I was going to
Oh
go ahead and just
wow.
drop the extra money and not have to worry about regretting it later.
Yeah, yeah. It's just such a big unknown because it could. I mean, well, you won't really down the road. You'll never regret that $100 because once you've spent it, I mean, it just goes. You get back in the flow, and there's no. You just don't miss it. But if you can't go back and get something you can't get anymore, yeah, it kind of sucks.
Well, the idea is that if I go with the digital version, that $100 I'm saving off the top, I'm spending 50 of it immediately to rebuy Astrobot, to rebuy Persistence, to rebuy Firewall, No Man's Sky. I mean, I've got a stack of games like this that I would have to rebuy. And I mean, the whole reason I'm pre-ordering the thing to begin with is so that I could play these games on a real machine, right? So half of that 100 goes out the window at least right off the bat. And I mean, if I'm just saving again, if I'm just saving $50 or less, I'm just going to go pay for it. I mean, it's an ultra HD 4K Blu-ray. I mean, I don't have one of those anyway, so it'll be nice just to have it for that.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, man. That's why I got the PlayStation. Is it four or Yeah, I think it was 4 to begin with, originally, because I didn't have a Blu-ray, and I thought, well, I might as well just get it all in one, right? So
Yeah, a lot of people use it for that too, especially PSVR owners. They like to buy those 3D Blu-rays. 3D Blu-ray is not the most popular thing in the world. You can often find very good movies at very reasonable prices. PD for one, if I remember correctly. Someone who likes to use their PlayStation VR to watch 3D Blu-ray.
yeah, especially on a PlayStation 5 with a 1.5 VR kit, right? So
Yeah, well, I'm hoping so anyway. Well, hopefully we'll just go ahead and get the two. But honestly, I've been pretty bullish on the idea of a PSVR Pro coming out fairly early, but I'm not so sure because I'm not. We don't know, Roots, how much of the PlayStation VR's resolution issue is the machine instead of the headset. That thing, it doesn't have the highest resolution in the world, but what it does have is RGB matrix, so it can be uh, a lot give you a lot more clear of a picture than you would think if you had a machine that could super sample. Well, we're getting a machine that can super sample, so that old PSVR headset might be a little bit better than we think it is when we get something with some real juice behind it.
yeah, but the only thing that's not going to be better is the tracking or the controllers, and that's the thing. That's what I want the most. Although I mean, I do want a better screen as well, but it's nobody's complaining. Well, very rarely do you hear people say, "Man, this game it just looks like crap too much." It's very rare, but you hear it all the time about the tracking, and it's just people like Mamefan will never like it ever because of that. You know what I mean? So once they can get past that, then I think it's gonna be a good day, Wes.
Well, my biggest thing is the controllers. I need some thumbsticks, bro. That's my biggest one. I'm hoping with this new camera, which by the way, I was prepared to pre-order the new camera today as well. I'm hoping it has a little bit wider angle on it, a little bit more volume. Uh, and if it does, and they give us controllers with some thumbsticks on them, that I could see being serviceable until PSVR 2 is ready.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. If they can somehow do that, which I don't even know that would be, I don't know why they haven't done that already, right?
Right.
So
Yeah, you'd think it would have been done a long time ago. Meow Meow the Gamer Cat says the headset can look very good. See Robinson the Journey on a Pro. Yeah, man. Astrobot Rescue Mission. It's just as clear and beautiful as any game I've ever seen in that headset. So that just goes to show you. I mean, Blood and Truth. Blood and Truth looks beautiful, and even Farpoint, a 3-year-old game at this point, still looks great on the PSVR Pro. So the headset is rather capable, and I'm really anxious to see what it's going to look like with, again, something with some real horsepower behind it.
yeah, that's a good idea though about getting the disc one though, because you have so many games already. You have to, like you said, replace, and you'd be waiting a while to get them all because you're not going to pay full price, right? So you'd have to get them on sale and at least some of them.
Yeah, but I mean, even you catch Astrobot. I mean, most of them you can catch for 10 to 15 bucks on the regular. Um, Man, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited to see all my favorite games. Resident Evil 7. Here They Lie. I can't wait to see Here They Lie on a real machine because that game is so cool looking anyway, and so sharp looking on the Pro as it is. I could only imagine what it's going to look like on the PS5.
Yeah, yeah, good times are coming.
Yeah, but we don't know when, right? We thought we were going to get the ball rolling today. And we started Monday off with a big letdown, and I cut my nap short for nothing, Roots, and I'm feeling it now.
Did you talk smack to that guy? Tell him like, what the hell, dude?
I went on there and read a bunch. I probably read 100 comments congratulating him for ruining his credibility.
I wonder who he heard it from. He's probably pissed, right? Somebody
Yeah,
led him astray.
and obviously, I mean, it wasn't complete bullshit because, again, Target, Walmart, Amazon, Best Buy, they all put up these PS5 pages today. So something happened on the date that he said was going to happen.
Hmm.
Obviously, it just didn't go the way that he thought it was going to go.
Yeah, he wasted an hour of my time. About an hour, hour and a half time, my time too. So just kept
Yeah.
refreshing the page to make sure I didn't miss it or something. So
Yeah, I did the same thing. I was refreshing. I was like, I would refresh Amazon, I would refresh PlayStation blog, and then I would refresh PlayStation Twitter account, and I would just go right down the line, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and I probably did that about 10 times, and was like, you know what, it's not happening today.
yeah, especially when it got to 3 o'clock. So yeah, that sucks. But I guess Friday, right? Are you gonna sit around Friday and wait?
Obviously I won't be doing that, but not like today, but I'll have my eyes open. I'll have my eyes open at all times. I don't want to be too far back in the line. I want to get mine nice and early.
Yeah, yeah, especially since they were saying all over
I
the
mean, I
news
mean,
too.
how else am I going to sell it for $1,000 on eBay Roots?
Yeah, you're getting three of them, right?
I'm considering it.
If you have the money, dude, you know what? I'll tell you what, dude. There's nothing wrong. People say that's wrong. That's capitalism, and if they let you do it, then do it. And there's probably like
Yeah,
seven people that are like, screw you, dude.
and obviously these people want it, right? Or they wouldn't be paying the money for it. I mean, they're happy to get it, or else they would just keep their cash in their pocket.
Yeah, true, true. Yeah, I guess I was typing. I could tell. Yeah, Friday. There's a rumor, Onakazi, that Wes was talking about. Somebody from GameStop said that they're supposed to be getting the PlayStation 5 on, or we're going to be getting the pre-orders on Friday. So we get to go through it
Yeah,
again in 4 days.
yeah, but again, take it with about a quarter of a grain of salt. Again, it was just some dude who claimed it, and I mean, I've seen just as many people claiming that they got their pre-order in the day. So,
Yeah,
it is
well,
what
you.
it is.
Yeah, I love those ones, right? Yeah,
Right.
but yeah. Well, I'm excited. Either way, we're close, and we're only a few months away from PlayStation 5 goodness. So
Yeah, yeah, man, I can't wait. Um, but yeah, I guess we need to get into some Monday show. So, if in case you guys haven't picked up on it yet, we are going with some backlog report today, because last week I finished Half Life Alex, and it was a long time coming, and it felt really good to finally knock anything off of my backlog. And for those of you who are interested, I did completely record the last 2 chapters of the game. My gameplay will probably go up sometime this week on the Weasel channel. Link is in the description in case. Well, I guess it's not. Link will be in the description in case you're interested in watching that. But I felt inspiration, Roots. I got through Alex, and I looked at my backlog, and I have 5 or 6 of the best games in VR that I've got significant time in but haven't beaten. So I thought it would be a good idea just to go right on down the line to the next title, and so that's what we did.
cool.
For the backlog report, what did you pick? What did you attack in your backlog this week?
Oh, well, I was just thinking about something I keep saying I wanted to try, check out, and being that football season is getting ready to not start, I thought it'd be a good time to check out 2D VR football evolution. And if you're looking at this and you're like, wait, this is an evolution, yeah, you're right. This is what it used to look like. It'll change here in a second. And I was actually really surprised about this game on a lot of different levels because I didn't think it was going to be this good.
Yeah, man. 2MD Evolution is an apt name for it, isn't it? Because I haven't seen another game with so many different versions floating around out there. It seems like the every 3 to 6 months they're completely overhauling their game and adding new features, functionality, and cosmetics. And yeah, 2MD Evolution uh, is the first iteration of this game that I've ever played. Like you, I have not tried it before today, and yeah, a little bit surprised. It looks way different than the 2MD was popularized a year or two ago whenever it released.
Yeah, well, at least they have hands now. That was the biggest thing people got really excited about is, the robots have hands. And I guess they weren't even robots. They were kind of like dummies or whatever. But I thought it was kind of cool because I did feel a little intimidation when the robots were trying to get to me and I was trying to stay back and throw. But Wes, was there any part of you that as you were playing this, you wanted to run? Like I wanted a running option. Because can you imagine if you could like pass it to somebody and then you're them and you could stiff arm and because you're using your hands, I just think that would be really cool.
Yeah, even just to hand the ball off, and I had quite a few 4th and 1s that I would like to have just handed the ball off to the fullback and let him, white knuckle it up through the line and get that yard, get me a fresh set of downs. Not that it mattered, because I mean they give you the 4 downs to get your first down, but it doesn't matter if you turn the ball over, it goes right back to you, and the score doesn't change.
Yeah,
So
that was
there's
my
no.
so yeah, that was the biggest thing that surprised me too. Is like there was no real penalty, right? So I'm like, damn it, I didn't make first down or I threw an interception and then I've got the ball again. And at first I was like, what the hell's going on here? Like they really make it very, you should win like every time, even though my throwing's not, sometimes I was throwing and it would go straight down or go all wonky. But man, when you got connected, those passes, the long bomb or something, for me, it just took a bit to figure out this whole play thing, because I didn't mess around with it too much. But I did realize I did see the lines on the field and realize, oh, I can see where the receivers are going to go, essentially, because at the first game I played, I sucked so bad. I lost. Ruuts blew it. Didn't even make it past round one. So,
Yeah, it was the same thing here. There was a lot to like about this game, and then there was some other things that felt kind of half baked to me. The throwing, it felt good after you got a feel for the plays. It takes a little while to memorize the plays, and the whole game is about two things. One, reading the defense. Obviously, you're the quarterback. You got to watch those safeties and what direction they're going in. And mainly, the game is about timing. Timing these routes right, timing your throw just right. And if you can do that, all you got to do is score once, and you've got 2 minutes to do it. Unlimited downs, pretty much, and you'll win the round and move on to the next one. Um, where I didn't where I felt the game could use more attention was in the throwing mechanic. That they want you to go into the options, and there's a couple of sliders. One of them sets the trajectory of the ball after you let it go, and the other one sets the throwing power. And I feel like the game should be able to gauge that by the speed in which you press and let off the trigger button and the speed that you throw the ball. They should be able to tell using the sensors in the controllers whether or not you're trying to throw a slow lob or you're trying to throw some heat down the middle. But they want you to go in before each game or each throw and set those sliders up uh, based on how you plan to throw the ball, which I felt was kind of weird. The only football game I've ever seen that actually do that.
okay. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, yeah, sorry, I got distracted there. Um, yeah. So I didn't even hear what you said. I'm so sorry, dude.
No,
Somebody's
that's cool.
texted me.
No, I was talking about how weird it was that the game didn't seem to be able to tell whether or not you wanted to throw heat down the middle
Oh
or
yeah.
lob it. They make you go into the options and set the sliders up depending on how you want to throw the ball, which really puts you at a disadvantage because uh, you know they expect you to throw the same way every time, and that no quarterback throws the same way in every situation. It depends on what route you're throwing to. Are you throwing quick over the middle, or you trying to hit an out route on the sideline? I felt that was a little bit weird.
Yeah, it makes me I mean I really understand now why I sucked so bad when I was throwing that ball because I thought I had read something about that in the intro or in the tutorial, and then once I got out to a point where I was like, okay, well, let me try to adjust this. I couldn't find it. I don't know where it was at, or maybe I just didn't see it. But I'm not going to go into the settings every time to adjust my throw in between throws. That's really bizarre. Like, they'd be better off having like a hold down this button when you throw for a softer throw, and hold down this button for a harder throw, and that would be ghetto as hell. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I agree with you. They should be able to somehow tell with the velocity of your hand how fast it's going, or whatever. Because I was sometimes throwing it hard and it wasn't going. I guess it's just baffling.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Now, with that said, after you learn the plays and you learn the routes, uh, you do get better at it, and it feels great, doesn't it? To really hit one and with perfect timing and a perfect throw, and go all the way down the field for a touchdown. Uh,
Yeah, especially if your guys run like you, because you can't really control what they're doing. I thought you were, but he's just running, and I'm just like, please don't get hit, because the guys are like right there. So
yeah, it really was. I don't know. It felt kind of like a part of a football game, a solid foundation upon which a great football game could be built.
yeah, all they would have to do is add defense, add running, just give it a penalty, like for going down the field. Because I threw my first time, I realized that I threw an interception, and I was like, no. And then I had the ball again, and I was like, what the hell? And I looked up, and it was like 6-0. Now I do know you didn't make it to round 5, because round 5 has 13 points on the opposing team, and you said that you only need to score once, and I didn't even score that round, so it did get a little bit harder. But yeah, that's about as far as I got, was round 5. What round did you get to?
3, I think. Yeah,
Okay.
round 3. That's as far as I made it, which I didn't play it very long. I just played it for a few minutes this evening because I knew it's the game that you picked. But I had fun with it. It was addictive. I didn't really enjoy it all that much at first, but the more I played it, the better I got. And after I got pretty good at throwing, it was a lot more fun. It felt like like any good arcade game, right? It was addictive. It was one of those one more game scenarios, right? I'll just play one more, just
Well,
one more. I can do better this time.
especially when I got to round 5 and blew it. I didn't do one more, because I was telling Radio Run, it's hot as hell, man. Limiting my time in VR right now. So
Uh, did you ever get in any of these situations where there was like 30 to 45 seconds left, the clock was ticking, and you just spiked the ball to stop the clock?
no, what I found was weird is, like, I would throw the ball, they would complete it, get tackled, and time would stop. I mean, it didn't stop indefinitely, but it stopped for a few seconds, and then it would start again. But no, I should have spiked it one time. You know what was weird is I had 2 seconds on the clock, Wes, and I got so befuddled that I fumbled it, and then like it stopped the clock at 1 second, and then I was able to get another throw off, and I was like, how the hell does that happen, dude? Like, no, man, you're 2 seconds, you fumble it, the game's over. So yeah, it's not, obviously not a sim, but now yeah, this person's actually running. See, you should be able to stiff arm people, man. That would be cool.
Yeah, man. Yeah, that's what I feel like. I feel like 2MD Evolution needs to continue to evolve. It's a fun little arcade mini game right now. Another thing I really don't understand, unless I'm badly mistaken, the PlayStation VR version has a head-to-head feature to it, like an online multiplayer. I don't understand why they don't all have that, because I think it would really add a lot to the game.
That would be cool. Yeah. No, they don't have it. I know they do have it on PlayStation, because I saw some videos of it. And I was surprised. Like you said, there's like 5-6 different versions out there. It was very difficult to find this footage, because everything else was what I was finding, which is weird. So I guess it just came out not too long ago.
Yeah, same thing when I was doing the thumbnail. I really had to dig to get a good thumbnail picture of the evolution, because most of the images out there are of the older versions.
Yeah. Well, somebody in the chat just said they bought this for Quest not too long ago. is pretty cool. So yeah, I guess it was Delirium Drew. So pretty good.
Yeah, I didn't really feel like I needed to play it tetherlessly. I felt like going into the game that maybe I had made a mistake hooking up my cable instead of using virtual desktop. But I really didn't move around all that much. Did you?
No, no, I wasn't going to be moving around because I mean, my character was moving with my joystick because I was constantly trying to avoid. Now, I wasn't smart enough to watch for the safeties, Wes, but I'm not really good. Like the whole play thing, I was like, what the hell, dude? I just want to play. I want to throw the ball. I don't want to worry about changing the play. I know there's some people out there that are such football fans, like that would be what they were excited about is designing these killer plays and then playing them. I don't have any killer plays, Wes, in my arsenal, unfortunately.
I felt their plays were pretty good. The pre-loaded plays. Now that said, if I were playing the head-to-head version, I would probably be a lot more likely to put the time into drawing my own plays. Uh, but it's all about knowing. It's all about knowing uh, which button is going to put you in which play and what that play is going to do, what routes your guys are going to be running. I feel a lot of the short routes were a little too short because there's always a mess, right? The pocket's always just right there in front of you, and it seems like the short routes that they had uh, pre drawn, the backs always run straight into the group of linemen and linebackers when you would like them to maybe 2 or 3 yards a little bit more down the field before they cut across. But again, that's why they give you the ability to draw up the plays yourself. I didn't want to put that kind of time into it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I changed the one play I had to in the tutorial, and that was it. So, and I was
Yeah.
switching the things by with the joystick. I didn't even know what was going on. I'm like, why can't I hike it? And he's like saying all these words while my guys were running all over the place because I kept changing the location. I was a mess in the first like 10, 15 minutes. I didn't know what the hell was going on. So
Yeah, it took me a few minutes as well, but I got it, and it was fun. By the end of the game, it was fun. But uh, like I said before, I think that there are opportunities here to make it way better.
yeah, yeah, I agree. Well, as long as they keep evolving it, like you said, that can be a really good game. I'd love to see something like this. I mean, like even to, like I've said before, Blitz, just the game as it was with better graphics would be cool, But I think it's cool that they've made it look like as good as it does. And I don't know. Well, how many domes did you say you got to? There was 5 different. Each one that was kind of cool too. Is each time you went to another team, you unlocked a team you could play, and then you got to a new stadium. And the 5th stadium was pretty cool. I don't know if I was close to the end, or I don't know how many there are, but it was cool that each stadium was different.
Yeah, that was cool. So yeah, I think that it was a fun arcade experience. I think if they would add a running game, extend it so that there are full quarters, right? Like full game clock, 4 quarters, and add some kind of a defensive gameplay to it. Like say, when you're not the quarterback, you're the free safety, right? You're the last guy back on the field, and watching the whole play take place in front of you, and you're the last line of defense to keep the other side from scoring. I mean, you could run with the thumbstick, and it just auto tackle whenever you make contact. I think that those 3 things there would be enough to make it twice as fun as it is right now.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be even though it's a good game. Now, what is it? Do you know what the cost is?
Oh, it's always cheap, dude. You can, I think it retails around $13 to $15, but you can get it for $10 or less on the regular. It goes on sale constantly.
Meow meow. The gamer cat says being the ball would be interesting in VR. Just don't call it the ball cam. So,
Right, right. Be the ball, Roots. Be the
yes,
ball.
be the
Ah,
ball.
no, 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 no. Ah, no, 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 no. All right. So yeah, 2MD Football Evolution, definitely worth the price tag, worth my time. It definitely gets better as you go. I would really like to try it out on PlayStation VR, to be quite honest, because I feel like that multiplayer would add a lot to it.
Yeah, I agree. I think it'd be a lot more fun. You could play against your family. That'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, that right. And uh, yeah, and I've got, the two systems here. I would only really need to get one copy. I might even have it. I was thinking I had this game, that I owned it, not just had it in our shared library,
Hmm.
but I couldn't find it on either of the PC stores. Maybe it's PlayStation VR is the platform that I have it. I might have it, Roots.
That'd be cool. Yeah, check it out, dude.
Yeah, I will. I'll be going back in the PlayStation here soon to pick Iron Man back up anyway. So
Onakazi says $10. It was during the Steam sale, so I'm not sure what
yeah,
it normally costs, but
yeah, it goes on sale all the time, and it's worth $10 in my opinion.
yeah, I agree.
Anyway, so check it out if you're a football fan. It's the best we've got right now, right? And it does, in many ways, make you feel like you're a quarterback. And let's be honest, if you're a football fan and a VR enthusiast, it was one of the first things that you thought of when you discovered VR, was how cool it would be to be the quarterback, reading the defenses and making the throws. And this game does that.
Yeah, I'd say it's the best sports game in VR. I mean, they're out of the different genres. This is the only one that's the closest to an actual game. You actually get to be in there, you know? So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I mean, a lot of games, it feels weird to hold the ball, especially basketball games. I don't know why no one has been able to uh, allow you to put two hands on the basketball and shoot. Every basketball game I've played has been one-handed, and it just doesn't make any sense to me.
yeah, except for the Oculus Home. You got your, well, no, I don't know. Maybe you don't do two. You just do one. You're right. Yeah,
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
that is weird.
I mean, it wouldn't take much for them to just have the mechanic that your hand touches the ball. It wouldn't have to affect the trajectory of the ball at all, just so that it feels right by holding it with two hands.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Anyway, as I mentioned before, I finished Half-Life Alyx last week, one of the best games in VR, and that inspired me to further attack my backlog. And looking over my backlog, I couldn't find a better candidate to pick back up than The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. Roots, um, this is an odd case, this game, Saints and Sinners, because I've got some real time in it, but all of my time's right at the front of the game because I played the first few days of it like three different times because I played it once as just a normal playthrough. Then I played it again as the evil weasel for our video that we made, our good versus evil video. And then I got it on PlayStation and played it again through those first few days. But I never really picked it back up and went any further with it. And man, as much as I love this game, it was way better than I even thought it was. This last couple of days, I've been marathoning it, and man, this is a good game.
Yeah, I saw some of the achievements you got, and I was like, wow, he's got a lot. He's getting pretty far into this thing. I went back into it too, and I finished, or I continued on my course that I did last time, and I just started looking for humans to see if I could get some good loot out of them and kill them in crazy ways. But it was pretty fun. I got a lot of good loot. Went back, turned it in. I'm on day 5 on my new playthrough. But I do need, I was just telling my son, I need to finish this game because I technically did, but like I've said before, I made a mistake at the end and did something I shouldn't have done by accident. And then things happened I didn't like. And I was like, I can't leave it like this. So I turned it off and I haven't gone back in. So I'm going to finish it the way it needs to be finished. And yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, the good thing about it is you can go to the load from save option and pick it back up at any point in the story. So if there's something that you did that you didn't particularly care for, you can just go back and redo it.
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that because I didn't like it at all.
Yeah. So I'm curious. I talked to you earlier on in the game, and from what I can tell, at least at this point, there are two main narratives that that are going on simultaneously, right? There's the guy who's stuck in the bunker, and then there's May Benoit. And when I talked to you early on in the early days of the game, you told me that you never met May Benoit. Uh, is
I
that still
must,
the case?
I must have because I think I know who. Isn't that the chick that leaves you stuff or no?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, no, I've met her. I'm pretty sure by now. Did you meet
Yeah,
her?
I found it interesting because I met her fairly early on in the game,
I
face
must
to
have.
face with her.
I must not have
And,
known exactly who you were talking about or something.
I found it curious that, dude, I could have killed her. I could have taken her head right then and there, and I would have been a hero because the tower. I mean, she's like enemy number one to the tower. It makes me wonder, had Evil Weasel been the one sitting there talking to her, how different might this game go?
Well, I'm pretty sure from everything that I've done in this game, you could have killed her. So, just because everything, I mean, everybody's, even the guy in the intro or the tutorial is suspect to be killed. You know?
Yeah, I haven't had any issues killing anybody. Um, it's actually a lot of fun, and I'll tell you, the game has really surprised me in this last couple of days. Um, because again, I had a one idea about it when it was just the first couple of spots that I had visited. But this map is a lot bigger than even I thought. There's a lot of different places you can go and a lot of different buildings that you can explore. And even though, of course, we'd all love to physically travel instead of fast travel. And of course, we'd all love to be able to scavenge and loot every building. There's a lot here. I mean, you can go to these places as many times as you'd like. And the places that you can loot and scavenge through are pretty big places. So, one of my early complaints of the game is that I wish the map was more accessible, but there's a lot more here than I originally gave it credit for.
Yeah, yeah. It's definitely pretty expansive, even though it's limited in its scope as far as different ways. There's definitely a lot of places you can go, and like you said, I'm going to places I never went to the first time around now just to see what the. I mean, dude, I found so much stuff in this house on day 4. I was like, oh my god, like everything I would have ever wanted was there, and of course, because it hasn't been picked through yet. But yeah, it's really
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, and you know me, I'm an explorer, I'm a scavenger. It's everything I can do to keep myself on task here and progressing the story. But I know the difficulty ramps with every day that you spend. So generally, I try to do both. But man, your watch don't give you much time, does it?
No, actually, it seems like to me, if I've ever had that timer go off, it's because I'm like waiting for it to go off. So I'm the complete opposite. Sometimes I'm like, man, that this thing is like forever. But the way you like look around and check everything out, I can imagine all of a sudden that thing's going off, and you're like, oh shit, I need to get out of here. Um,
Well, again, with every day that passes, the supplies dwindle and the walkers increase in number. So generally, when I travel and I go somewhere, I have two main goals. First of all, I want to
uh,
obviously progress the story in whatever way that I've chosen to go. Some days I'll be trying to help the guy in the bunker. Other days I'll be trying to find intelligence for May. Uh, so obviously that's the first goal. But then after I accomplish that, my second goal is to fill my backpack completely full with stuff to craft with. And generally, it's difficult to get both things done completely before my watch goes off. My watch generally goes off every time I go somewhere,
oh
and
wow.
literally, I'm racing to my skiff with a herd of walkers chasing me at the end of each level. At least that's been my experience so far.
Oh, nice. Should get even harder as you get more and more people, more zombies, I should say.
Yeah, man, it is. And, I found myself this last couple of sessions uh, playing playing each level multiple times, failing and starting over. Instead of if I die, instead of hitting continue and then going and trying to pick up my loot and get out, I just restart the whole level from the time that I got to it, because the intelligence that you gather, knowing where zombies are, knowing where items are, knowing where people are, that's really important and helpful, especially as you get later on in the game. So the last, I think, two spots that I've went to, I've played probably from the beginning at least three times to figure out what the best way to go about achieving my goals are.
Yeah, you're getting to be an expert, man. This guy's whoever's videos. This is man. He's crazy, dude. He's like he killed that guy's brother, and this is some crazy action here.
Yeah, I killed that guy's brother a couple of times on accident. I blew all those guys up, and this one I think I actually started probably four or five times because I kept killing the guy's brother, and I didn't want to. Um, and then eventually I got tired. I didn't want to play anymore, but I wanted to beat the level and get that pump before I stopped playing. So my last playthrough, my definitive playthrough, I just reverted back to Evil Weasel, and I just demolished the tower in this first house. And I didn't even go to the second house where that guy's brother was. I just killed all these people, completely looted their house, and went back to the skiff.
Oh, nice. Yeah,
Dude, it was so fun. There's so many propane tanks laying around this level. I literally just picked the propane tank up, laid it in front of everyone that I knew where they were at, and except for one dude, there was another guy that was easy to sneak up behind. So I started off by stabbing that dude in the head, and then I just went right down the line, blowing up everybody else. And there was three or four people in the house that I had to deal with, but that ain't nothing for a guy like me.
yeah, especially if you just took them all out, right? So
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, so yeah, I'm really curious about this game. Again, you have these two different storylines going on, and those are just the main stories. There's tons of little side stories. I just got to the one that you were telling me about the lovers. I'll just say that, and I'm really not sure which direction I want to take that one in. But it seems with these main stories, it seems like you have opportunities to go very different ways with them, and it at least seems like you can significantly impact the story. I mean, not just a little bit, like you can make it sway greatly depending upon what you decide to do. And I'm wondering, is that the case? And Gamer Chick's in the chat here, talking a lot about this game. So I guess she has some insider knowledge as she used to work for these develop or these developers. I'd be curious, Gamer Chick, is it as is the story as variable as it seems? Like if I were to take May Benoit's head to the tower, is that going to greatly change my trajectory? If I let that guy drown in the bunker, is it greatly going to change the game, or is it just going to be like Defector and just kind of put you on a slightly different path to the same end?
yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah, because it seems like this is a game you could play through four or five times, and if you make different choices, the game be completely different every time you play through it.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of humans. See, I always tried to not kill humans, but some of these people deserve to die, Wes. Especially if they're acting so mean. So
Yeah, if they don't have a dialogue bubble over their head, I've pretty much gotten to the point where I'll try to avoid them if I can, but if I have to go by them, I'll just kill them. I won't even try to reason with them or give them a chance to kill me. I'll just kill them and take their gun and go on about my business. As Rick would say, I don't trust anyone anymore.
I don't either, for sure.
All right. Gamer Chick says if you're not aligned with the tower, the finale is more difficult. Well, that is very good to know, because there are some ways that I've aligned myself with the tower, and then there are other ways where I've just completely, demolished a whole troop of them. So I don't. I think they see me as an enemy right now. Every time I'm sneaking by them, I hear them talking about me. So I think they see me as an enemy at this current point in time.
Yeah. Well, Onokazi says we wanted to expand on the factions, but we ran out of time. Maybe in a future update. I'm
Yeah,
assuming.
that was what I was thinking. Everybody's kind of clamoring for multiplayer with the game, and I think that would be great, and obviously a big opportunity now. And we'll talk more about that in a moment. Um, but yeah, I feel like this game, and I was just thinking this last night. This is a very expandable game. I could see Skydance doing like a $15 to $20 DLC to this game, a whole new story campaign set in New Orleans during this time frame. They could literally expand this thing to the moon because it's so good. The mechanics are all there. The map is there. Literally, all they would have to do is come at it with some fresh story, some new voice acting, and I mean, it'd be like a whole new game.
It would. It would. Wes, I do have to admit, I got an achievement today, and it made me feel at home in 2020. It was the hypochondriac uh, achievement for taking medicine when I didn't need it, and I thought it was 17.6% of people have gotten that achievement, and I thought, man, this would fit in well with everything going on right now. But
Yeah, I don't think I've got that one. I tend to not, I tend to be conservative with my stuff, but I do. I always like to, before I go to bed, uh, fill my meters back up. So I'll take whatever medicine I have, bandages, I'll eat, I'll get my meters all the way back up. Basically, I'll progress every aspect of my character and my crafting, everything. I'll progress it as far as I can, and then I'll go to bed. So when I pick it back up, I'm ready to go. I don't have to pick my weapons or whatever. I can just hit the ground running.
yeah, do you think you'll be an alcoholic by day 30?
I was wondering that myself. I was like, dude,
You're
this
forcing.
guy.
It's like the only way you can go to sleep. You got to drink the flask, and drink yourself to sleep.
Yeah, well, I imagine that was probably pretty realistic. But I mean, this dude, it's not like he's hiding. How could you ever sleep in that kind of a situation? It's like he's screaming, "Rob me!" Right?
Yeah, you better hope that you would have multiple people with you. That's when you would need more people because somebody has to be awake at all times. Realistically, if you're by yourself, you're only gonna last so long before you wake up to somebody with a knife in your face.
Yeah, how good would a co-op campaign be in this game when you had your friends in it, progressing it again through a story campaign, but you have a real group, right? You have like it would be if it were the apocalypse. You have somebody watching your back. You have somebody to go on supply runs with you.
Yeah,
Uh, it'd be great, wouldn't it?
that'd be really cool. That'd be awesome.
Let me ask you this: I just unlocked or I guess discovered the ability to uh, tune in to channel 47 and get tips about supply runs from the tower communication channel. Um, I haven't found my first cache yet. I'm wondering, is there anything, any kind of indicator to tell me that I found it? If you're looking for a story item, it glows purple. You know that that's what you're looking for and that you found it. When I find one of these caches, whether it be a medicine cache or a food stash, does that have any kind of glowing thing or anything to let me know I found it, or will it just be a bunch of stuff and I have to assume that that's it?
That's a good question because I never found a cache. I went once or twice. I need to go do. See, that's what I'm trying to do with this next playthrough is do stuff that I didn't do the first time around, and I didn't want to go on supply runs, but I didn't unlock much of anything. I want to unlock that whole thing. You know what I mean? And so if I want to do that without using some kind of a code or something, I need to actually get on it, Wes. And I found one of those things, but it was breaking like that right off the bat. It'd be pretty cool to Wolverine it up, you know?
And GamerCheck says it does not glow. So I guess it'll just be obvious that there's going to be enough stuff that it's just going to be obvious that I found it.
Yeah,
I
because
would
like,
assume.
don't they tell you like the supplies, what type of supplies you're looking for, like ammo or whatever it is that they're giving? Yeah,
Sometimes
okay,
they do, but other ones are they just say. I mean, obviously there's a medicine one, there's a food one, but the other one I think is just general supplies.
okay, yeah. It looks like a Foot Locker soldier style, and there's a symbol in white on the inside of the lid. Oh,
All right.
nice.
Awesome. You see, that's helpful information. And normally I wouldn't ask for any kind of hint like that. But again, these maps are big and you don't have much time to find this stuff. So, it'd be nice to know it when they don't give you any clue to where it's at. They just say, okay, in this spot, there's this kind of a cache and you've got that whole map to search for. And again, I don't like to just go on runs just scavenging. I'm also trying to progress the story when I'm in there. So it's kind of difficult to look for one of these things. So that's kind of why I swallowed my pride and asked for the hint there.
Yeah, I can't imagine trying to do it all in one shot. Maybe that's why I don't run out of time because I'm not trying to do everything at the same time. It's like I am moving pretty quick, but this is different game style, right?
Yeah, it's hard not to just scavenge for a guy like me who loves that kind of gameplay anyway. I have been considering just taking 2 days just to scavenge because I have a pretty good idea of where some good stuff is at, and I found some good stuff too. Some stuff that has made my life way easier. For example, I found a recipe to make beignets, and it's a way better food than that Nutria stew is that they start you off with.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, Not only does it uh, fill your health or your stamina bar up significantly more, but for a limited amount of time, it actually speeds up your regeneration of stamina. So if you get tired, you recuperate a lot faster. So say you're out in the town and the watch does go off and the bells start ringing and you know you're going to have to run for it, you can eat that thing. Your stamina bar will fill all the way up. And as you're running, you can stop and take shorter breaks and it'll fill up a lot faster.
Hmm.
Um, I also found a recipe for the 45 revolver. Uh, that was very helpful to have a strong, powerful handgun like that early on in the game. I mean, this was one of the guns that's on the bottom of the weapons crafting list,
Oh
and
crap!
I've got it right here toward the beginning of the game.
That's,
Very helpful.
it's not fair. You got all the good stuff. Gamer Chick said that the those caches are randomized as well, so she can't even help tell you where they're at. So that's kind of cool, right?
Yeah, that's one of the things I really like about this game is all of the items are randomized. You can't really count on anything other than story items, things that you're looking for to progress the narrative. Everything else is randomized. So you might find a gun here at one point, and the next playthrough you'll come through and there'll be a book or a piece of wood. So many different types of things you can find, and it's all different every time. And I thought that was really
Did
cool.
you ever use that box there for inventory stuff? Because I don't know, man. I thought it was for weapons, or I never used it for anything, dude. And I'm looking at all sorts of crap in there. It's a nice little storage box. It's all organized. The hell is Roots doing, man? Like,
Yeah, I've been filling that box up with components that I know I'm going to be able to use later to make explosive devices. So
mm,
you have those little robots with the egg timers, and they walk and then they blow up when they draw enemies around. You can make those. You can find the robot. You can find the egg timers. Um, but I'm assuming that I have to find a recipe to learn how to make them because I can't. Obviously I can't make them right now. So I've just been stockpiling that stuff. When I find it, like an egg timer or a robot, I throw it in that crate, and I've got quite a bit of that stuff right now.
I just don't know how I played that long without realizing that I'm supposed. I thought at first I thought it was for weapon pieces or something, broken weapon pieces, and then I thought, screw that, I'm scrapping this crap. and then I just ignored it. So I think it's cool, man. I got a chest. It's inventory. It's going to be organized. It's going to be cool.
Yeah, yeah. I see myself pushing the limits in this game of how long you can play it before it just gets too hard to do anything. I imagine pretty soon I'm going to take a few days and just scavenge with it. A few days on the game, not in real life, obviously.
Well,
But
I'll tell you what, Wes, I'm finding, because on this playthrough, like I said, I went to different areas that I didn't go to before, and scavenged them, and I found a lot of good stuff in the beginning days. And it tells you every single day, it's like throwing it in your face. There's less stuff out there. Everything's dwindling. There's more walkers. And so I would imagine if you wait too long, you're going to go out there and scavenge, and you might not find very good stuff. It might be stuff that's, picked through, I guess.
Gamer Chick's asking, can I give you one insider's tip regarding the NutriStew? Yeah, go for it. Yeah, absolutely. It's not a story spoiler, so we're all good there.
Yeah.
Let me ask you, Roots. Now that you mentioned it, I found a lot of good scavenging in the ward, and the ward is the place where you go to get the second intelligence drop for May.
Mm-hmm.
Now, there's a lot of I don't know, I guess former industrial buildings or office buildings with a lot of good stuff in it there. Even on day 8, day 9, still a lot of good stuff in there. But I found myself having to leave a lot of that behind because that fortress, that tower base where that intelligence is being held, that place was damn near impenetrable. So my definitive playthrough of that level, I spent most of my time getting in there and getting that intelligence. Did you get in there and actually find the intelligence in that big base where they had the entire perimeter guarded, or did you just go on without it?
I can't remember, to be honest. It's been a while since I played through that first time. I don't remember having some huge thing trying to get into it, so I probably didn't. Are you able to go around and not do it? Is there a way to not do that?
Well, I mean, you have to I mean, it's there's too many of them really to brute strength your way through them all. You can't go in to the front. You can't go through the front. I found that out the hard way because they'll all descend on you. But on either side of the base, there are back doors, ways that you can sneak in. And you're still, unless you're just like the best stealth player in the world, you're still going to get discovered.
That's what it was. I didn't get discovered because I'm the best stealth player in the world. No, that I do remember one really hard place, but I found some kind of a tunnel that went under the floor, and maybe there was another entrance that you didn't go through, and I don't know, maybe I'm thinking of something different. But yeah, I mean, there's just so much going on in this game that if I can't remember it, that's pretty good. So.
Yeah, man, that's the thing, right? But if you take one of the back doorways in, you can stealth your way through most of it. You'll still be discovered, but generally it's only by 2 or 3 people at a time. And as long as you've got good weapons, you can handle that. But I mean, even still, that place is so big, that compound, it didn't leave much room for scavenging. So this was one of those examples I was talking about, that the intelligence, playing through it a few times, really helped, because I found a safe code inside one of those buildings there around that. And even though I didn't really have time to scavenge after I got the intelligence, I did have just enough time to pop in that building, grab that safe code, and hit the skiff just as the bells are going off.
What'd you get out of the safe?
I have not found the safe to which that the code goes to yet. I thought maybe it was the safe
that one
at the beginning, right? The one after you go down through the cemetery passage, there's a safe out there, but it wasn't for that one. It was it's called the Golden Lion safe, whatever that means.
Okay, yeah, I found a code for a safe today too, for the Blue Palace 3771. I don't know why I
Well,
remember that.
that's something cool too about this game is that the save codes, every time that you load the game, they change. So you can't memorize them and use them later. Uh, if you get killed and start the level over, it's going to have a whole different code.
Yeah, that's crazy. Man,
And I'm pretty sure that what's in the safe even is going to be different, every time you play.
oh, cool. Well, I'm excited to see what's in the safe now. I do have that code for the Blue Palace. Maybe I'll go check it out. Hopefully it'll
Yeah.
be something like you can't get anywhere else, right? Like,
I did the Blue Palace safe yesterday, and it was something significant, very significant.
oh, okay, maybe it was one of those recipes. Let's do it.
Yeah, there was one of those in
Oh,
there, but that
sweet.
wasn't the only thing that was in there.
Phil Yarn says his index is so comfortable.
That's awesome. As someone who is using the Quest as a daily driver, I'm glad to hear Phil saying that.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. That's
It looks
cool.
like Mark's in the house too. What's up, Mepper? Thanks for coming by, buddy.
Glad you were able to catch the FedEx guy this time, Phil.
Yeah, yeah, no kidding. I bet he was on guard duty all day, huh?
Yeah, I would have like gave the FedEx guy a talking to. Like, you left too early. You didn't wait. No, just kidding. I don't care. I just gotta grab my index, go back in, hook it up. I mean, right in there.
He's just lucky he got it. Half the time these guys lose your package, right?
Yeah, there was a lot of that, right? When it was first coming out. That's so crazy. All of a sudden, and like I saw the guy. He didn't even come. He'd like walk up and put the thing and run back real quick. It's crazy. Yeah, he had
He
his
says he
clothes on
had
this
them
time.
hold. He
Yeah.
said he had them hold it for pickup. A smart man.
Yeah, that's what I would do. I don't have it on live chat. I have it on top chat. Let me change this. Who didn't? Somebody warned us last time. They didn't warn me today. Live chat. Okay.
A gamer chick coming through with the pro tips. If you're high on protein and need sugar to upgrade the table, scrap the NutriStew after you craft it. It will give you +3 sugar and requires no sugar to make. Well, I'll tell you what situation that would come in handy for. And I haven't found myself low on really any of the food stuff yet. Generally, the food stuff's pretty easy to find, at least so far. But it would come in handy because I think those beignets that I was talking about, I think those do require sugar.
Mm,
So if you needed to craft one of those, and you can just swap it out like that.
that's cool.
Yeah, that's what I've been doing, like with my weapons and stuff, like my melee weapons. I'll use them down until they get red,
And
and
then
instead of
scrap them.
using them until they break, I'll put them in my backpack, bring them back, and then scrap them for supplies.
Yeah, that's what I do too. Smart, smart man. But you're using your inventory and I'm not, so that's a lot smarter.
Right.
I will now, man. I'm gonna fill that sucker up, dude. I'm gonna have Twinkies in there. I'm gonna have everything, all sorts of junk food.
Well, use the tracker.
Yeah, that's true. I'd say, isn't it even like you can on your watch or somewhere in your book, right? Tells you what you have.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Well, what if you're tracking an item? What'll happen is the components that you need to craft that item. Anytime you pick something up that has one of those components, you'll have a little star beside of it to let you know this is something you need, and you just throw it in your backpack.
Okay. Yeah, no, I never did that, and I was gamer chick saying that basically veteran play is to not eat the sugary stuff. You know, you save it because I really once I figured out that or was able to get the stew, I don't eat the crap because you eat that Pop Tart, it feels good for a couple minutes, and then your stamina goes down, and that's not good, man. Isn't it your stamina that it affects or
Yeah.
your something?
If you eat food that you're fine, it makes you sick,
Yeah, it's
and
not good
and
for you.
medicine's much harder to come by in the game than food. So literally, I pretty much I don't eat anything that I don't craft myself
Mm,
unless I just have to, and I haven't really had to.
that's
So
good.
I basically I collect a lot of food items early in the game, so that I could stock up my components and make food whenever I need it. And I'm glad I did because again, I've pretty much needed every bit of the medicine that I found without eating bad food. I've still needed that medicine to keep my bottom bar full. So
Yeah, well, and if you don't, man, try running around with it not full. It's not a good idea, man.
She says
So
Pop Tarts so good. Yeah, I agree with you, but they're always just laying out on the ground, not even in a wrapper. There's Pop Tarts everywhere. Like
this
in the bathroom floor, you'll find a Pop Tart.
is the
Like, eh.
apocalypse, Wes, and Wes is worried about the food being dirty. You're lucky you're eating, boy.
Hey man, I'll just wait till I get home and make some nice nutrient stew.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds good, man. No, I think this game's phenomenal. I was glad you picked it for your backlog, so I could go back in. It reinvigorated my wanting to go back in and do a just a different playthrough, play it a different style. You know, first time
Yeah.
Roots, I was afraid to kill people, and this time I'm just I don't trust anybody, everybody I could come across. Once I figure out, like the quest people especially, man, because you can kill them and take their stuff, you know, and that's cool.
Yeah, I absolutely love this game, and it's getting better as I go. It was already a top five VR game, r- no matter what platform, platform irrespective. I feel like it's a top five. It may even be a top three game, and the PSVR version is great as well, and I'll probably go. That's probably what I'll do, Roots. I'll probably play through the PC version one way, and then I'll go onto the PlayStation at some later point, probably after I've got my PS5, and play through that a completely different way.
Yeah, that's a good idea. And on the
And, and
PlayStation
then
5, it's going to be amazing.
and then hopefully by the time we get through that, fingers crossed, we'll get some substantial DLC for it and some new story content.
Yeah, that's what I'm looking forward to because the story this time was so good. I want to see more.
Mepper says Twinkies, the one food that might outlast the cockroaches. Yeah, man, those Twinkies are deceptive, man, because you find them and they look pristine, right? They look good, but if you eat them, they do make you a little bit sick.
Yeah, well, and I don't know. I don't really want to be eating Twinkies in real life either. I don't know. I don't know if they're the same. Do you remember when those Twinkies, when you couldn't get Twinkies anymore and people were buying them on eBay and I
Yeah.
mean, that's so stupid. I don't know, man. We're losing it, dude. We lost it. I should have known what world we were going into when that was happening. Now we're 10 times worse.
Well, the good thing is that us VR enthusiasts, the ones that are playing these games like this, we're going to be prepared, right? When the world really does go to shit, we will have had hundreds of hours of practice by that point.
Yeah, but you're gonna think you can die and come back and redo it. That doesn't work in real life, bro.
Yeah, right, right. I'm not going to be able to go back to my previous save game.
Yeah.
All right, I guess we need to move on to our discussion topic because we're talking about this backlog. I mean, it's a testament to how good this game is, right? We've talked about this thing for like an hour already. I guess we need to move on, and our discussion topic is actually something very similar to this, very near to this, and that is the Walking Dead Onslaught from Survios. Uh, you know, um, we actually got details about the Walking Dead Onslaught before we knew about the Walking Dead Saints and Sinners. And when I say knew about, we knew that a Walking Dead game was coming from Skydance, but we didn't know it was called Saints and Sinners. We didn't know anything about the game, but we knew a little bit about Onslaught. And it's interesting. Uh, the picture that they painted for us originally, what Onslaught was supposed to be, and what it is turning out to be is pretty much two entirely different things. And I guess only time is going to tell whether or not that's a good thing or a bad thing, Roots.
Yeah, I don't know. When I first saw Alex had posted the post in Discord, and I saw that what the beef of the story was, I was a little bummed out. I'm not gonna lie, because it was one of the things we were excited about, right? Multiplayer, getting to slash some zombies, some arcade action, being in that world. And it's funny because everybody in the Discord had the same reaction, but when everybody else reacted, I had read the article and I was like, well, damn, dude, read the article. Because my reaction at first was without reading it. Once I read it, I was like, wow, okay, I'm kind of excited now because Westworld was so good, and the reality is Saints and Sinners what is so good that it freaked these people out. They changed their whole direction because of how good the Saints and Sinners is. And they knew that the bar was raised, and they decided to focus on the story and what they can deliver that Saints and Sinners can't deliver, which is the Walking Dead TV series, and doing what they did with Westworld so well, which is making you feel like you're in that episode. And when I read that quote from that guy, I say that guy because I don't have the article up, but he literally, that's what he said. For the last year, that has been their focus, has been literally to make it feel like you were dropped into the middle of a Walking Dead episode. And I read that and I was like, okay, this is the people that made Westworld, and they weren't even thinking this way when they made Westworld. How much more can they do with the Onslaught? I get goosebumps. I think it's going to be a really good game.
Yeah, and it's funny that it's interesting that they're coming right out and admitting that, because we've speculated that more than once on this show. You know, as we've been trying to understand why it's taken so long for them to release what was supposed to be pretty much a nearly finished game a year ago. We've speculated that they've probably decided that they have to up their game, right? Because Saints and Sinners was so good and Skydance knocked it out of the park so much that Survios knows that if they're going to bring another Walking Dead title to the market, that they better have their P's and Q's in order, right? And it's funny that they've come right out and pretty much said that, you know, that after Saints and Sinners was released, uh, they had to focus on delivering a quality product. And I think it's interesting that he's saying that they're focusing on the television show and representing that universe as a way of differentiating their game, because what they've done is they've went from having a very different gameplay style to now what's going to be a much more similar game to the Skydance game.
Yeah, it is. It's just weird. It's a weird thing. I mean, I get it. Because like I said, they freaked them out. But like I said, I don't know why they had to get rid of the co-op, but I guess that was just something that fell to the side or something. I don't know.
That's weird. It must take a lot of resources to develop a great co-op game, because that is the really probably the most underutilized gameplay feature in VR right now. I mean, uh, one of the top guys at Archiac the other day did a little Twitter poll asking people, "Hey, what kind of game do you want? If we were making anything, what would you like?" And I came right out and said it. I want a story based uh, co-op campaign. I want to be able to play through a story, be able to fight my way out of tough situations, and I want to be able to bring a friend with me when I do it. There aren't enough of those games, and that was one of the things I was initially most excited about with the Walking Dead Onslaught, was that it was kind of the antithesis of what the Skydance game was, right? The Skydance game being a very single player, story driven experience, and the Onslaught game being an arcade style, action based experience that you can party up with friends, and still story based, you know, but a little bit faster, right? A little bit more arcade style action based gameplay. Um, and I've been very excited about it because, as you know, I'm a big Walking Dead fan, and I'm a fan of the television show first. I mean, I read some of the comics. I didn't read them all. I read about the first 120 issues or so. I read most of them, um, but I'm the TV show is what got me. But it's interesting, you know, when this game started, when they first started talking about Onslaught, they didn't say that you could play as any of the characters.
Mm.
They said that you could play with these iconic weapons, basically implying that you were going to get to pretend to be your favorite characters. And then from that, they went on to say, well, now you can play as your favorite characters, and that was an interesting shift. But during the upload showcase a month or two ago, that's when we really got our first hard evidence that they were making wholesale changes to their game. When we saw that Norman Reedus was doing voiceovers for the game, and that was the first time we really knew, okay, we were right. They're really overhauling their game now, and giving us something way different than what they originally had described.
Yeah. Yeah, they definitely did a big shift there, and I think it's funny, like you said, they were. It's almost like they were very specific the way they worded it, like with the weapons, and it. We even speculated, oh, that kind of sucks. We wish I could be that person. And then now they've even got Daryl voice acting, which I don't think they're getting. They haven't said definitively they're not. They've just said that they've got him. They haven't said they didn't get the other three, but I'm assuming they didn't. But they did say that they've been working with the writers and the producers of the show and everything to get it as real as possible. And like I said, Westworld was so good. Westworld came out a month after 2 months after E3 in August. And so, that everything that they were planning on doing with this game before Westworld was even released. Westworld was so well received. They saw what everybody said about how good they made you feel like you were in that episode, and I think it just completely changed what their focus was on what they wanted to deliver for this game. I know Gamer Chick 13 was saying she thought they were going to incorporate it into their location based entertainment, so they were surprised. I'm assuming it. Skydance that they took this direction as well. So
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if AMC's not behind the change. AMC and Skybound have always kind of had a tug of war over the creative direction of The Walking Dead, and AMC always plays their trump card. So generally, what happens is Skybound would take the comic off in a different direction, right? So if the television show went this way, and Skybound didn't like it, they would take the source material another direction to the point where they abruptly ended. They killed Rick and ended the comic book uh, with like about a minute's notice last year. So I got to imagine when AMC saw what Skydance delivered for Skybound, they probably contacted Survios and said, "What do you got, guys? What does our game look like?" And when they saw that it was just kind of this generic zombie game, right, with a few iconic locations and weapons in it, they said, "You know what? That's not good enough. Let's give it another shot."
I think you're
And
right.
then,
No, go ahead.
no, that's right. Go ahead.
I was just say I think you're right, because when I was reading that article, that was one of the things they stressed was how they wanted to do a good job for AMC, and like they made it a point a couple times. So I think it is very likely that that they're making a shift, which is good. I mean, we want the game. I mean, we've had this big delay, so who knows what the hell they've been doing with this for the last year. So I'm
Yeah, and
excited.
initially I was kind of upset because I didn't just learn today that this co-op was gone. It was about a week, 10 days ago that the co-op feature mysteriously disappeared from the Onslaught Steam page,
Mm.
and that was kind of odd. Really, it was today that I started feeling a little bit better about it as I read through that interview, because I realized even though we're not getting co-op, which again is something that I feel we need a lot more of in VR. You know me, I'm the story-driven single-player narrative guy. I like to be told a story, and I like to live a story in VR. So if they're going to keep the the innovations that they've made with the melee combat, the progressive dismemberment they call it, if they're going to keep that action gameplay and put a canon AMC Walking Dead story, and this is a canon story. It's based around Daryl. It's set during that time jump. There was a time jump between the end of season 8 and the start of season 9, and this is when this story is supposed to take place. It's based around Daryl Dixon, voice acted out by Norman Reedus, and it's during this time period where the survivors have just defeated the saviors. Negan's in prison, and Rick and Daryl are butting heads about the direction of the community. Should they kill the rest of the saviors and leave them in the dirt, like Daryl wants, or should they make peace and try to all get along and pave the road to the future together, which is what Rick wants. So, at least to some extent, that conflict is going to play into this story because they mentioned during that interview that there's at least one scene where you're Rick talking to Daryl about these sorts of things.
Yeah, yeah. You guys says you get to go back to the campfire every so often, and you're Rick um talking to Daryl to fill in pieces, right? So I thought that was kind of cool too. So I'm hoping they have Rick's voices or all the voices, but I think you can play as all four. But I'm not. I thought that's what it said, but I know that I get to be Daryl, and that was my hope. That was my dream, is that I could be Daryl. So
Yeah, you can be Daryl, you can be Carol, you can be Michonne, and there was one other that you can be. Maybe it was Rick.
it was Rick. So
Yeah.
who's gonna be Carol? Like, I'm not. I mean, good
Hey,
character.
dude,
I am not gonna. She bakes cookies, dude.
she bakes cookies to fool people. She's a badass. She's probably the biggest badass on the show.
She is a badass, but I don't know. I'm not going to be Carol. I'm just not going to. I think I'd be Rick. Rick, maybe Michonne, because
Yeah.
she's got that badass sword, and then Daryl. I don't know. I guess Carol's got the regular gun. I don't know.
Carol has whatever she can muster up. She's the one who saves the day. The show would have been over with in like season 4 if it weren't for Carol saving their ass repeatedly.
Yeah, that's true. That's very true. Yeah, what a good
Uh,
series that was in the first
but
several.
anyway, as sad as I am to see the co-op feature go, I feel like we're getting a better game in the end here. I feel like, for my personal taste, obviously, if I could pick any kind of game, it would be a story-driven narrative that I could have the option of bringing a friend along with me. But if I have to choose between a story-driven single-player game or a co-op arcade-style game, I'm going to take the story driven game every time. And especially if it's something that's set in probably my favorite television show ever and told by Survios. And as you said, we can see what they're capable of doing with the Westworld game because that was like stepping into an episode of Westworld. So I got to imagine that this is going to be like stepping into an episode of The Walking Dead. And, you know, for me, that's perfect. It's exactly what I want.
Well, let me ask you the real question here, Wes. Should the Savior state be left alive or not? What do you think? Should they just kill their asses? Because I'm with
Well,
Daryl, man. I mean, I want peace, but I don't trust him, dude.
well, for the most part, Daryl was proven right. Spoiler alert:
Spoiler alert.
Daryl was proven right. Most of the saviors turned out to be assholes, the assholes that we knew that they were, and Carol burned them alive. Again, Carol's a badass. Uh, but that said, there are a few members of the community of Alexandria, of all the communities, Alexandria, Hilltop, um, the Kingdom. Well, the Kingdom when it was still a thing. There are members of all of those communities that are former saviors. You know, important members of the community. And Negan himself even turned out not to be half bad. So, you know, if it weren't for Rick and his philosophy, we wouldn't have those people left alive. And again, in the post-apocalyptic world, people are a resource, right? They're the most important resource.
Somewhere in the middle. That's what you got to do. Some people live, some people die.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, that's what makes these post-apocalyptic games so awesome, and they've gotten great over the last years with Fallout, with or I'm sorry, The Last of Us. Um, they're so realistic, or at least they're realistic to the point of what you think that the world would be like, 20 or 30 years after some devastating event. And it's literally my favorite type of genre, not only in games but in television and movies as well. That's why I was so heartbroken about the narrative choices in The Last of Us 2, because that world is so beautiful and so explorable, and I so want to one day be able to put my headset on and dive into that world. Um, but yeah, I'm just rambling at this point.
So you're not going to do it? Last of Us
I'm
2.
again. I'll play that when it's free with PlayStation Plus. But I don't feel like
it's worth your money. Yeah.
Reward them with my money for the choices that they made. And just so you all know, it has nothing to do with the social stuff in it. It has nothing to do with any of that. It comes. I'm not going to make this the Last of Us 2 episode. You guys know my thoughts on it. Hit me up in the Discord if you'd like me to once again elaborate. But yeah, I think I've said my piece on that more than once.
Yeah, very true.
Anyway, I think that's going to wrap us up here, Roots. You know, I felt like it was everything just kind of fell in place today because I was looking for a topic for the show. I've been playing a lot of The Walking Dead Saints and Sinners lately, and then Onslaught. You know, we got more information about Onslaught today than we've gotten in 6 months. So everything just kind of lined up, and I feel like the show went as well as we could have expected it to go.
Yeah, I agree. For sure.
All right. So with that said, if any of you are new to the channel, please help support us by subscribing and clicking the notification bell to stay up with all of our content here on the Virtual Strangers channel. And with that said, I want to go ahead and give you guys a heads up. I'm going to be releasing a gameplay probably tonight, maybe tomorrow. We've got access to In Death Unchained on the Oculus Quest. And I'm really digging it so far. So I think I'm going to make a video and put it up. So look for that over the next day or two. Again, for those of you who would like to join the conversation, shortly after this video goes up, you'll be able to find an invitation to our Discord in the description down below. If you want to go ahead and join, all of those links are in all of our videos. So just click on an older video and you'll see the links there. And what else, Roots? Patreon. For those of you who would like to do a little bit more to support our community and help us grow, for as little as $3 per month, you can gain access to our weekly show notes as well as The Money Show, which is a growing, evolving program, which is getting better every time we do it. Money Show 3 just went out the other day, and it was really awesome.
You know who else likes the Money Show?
My mom!
Well, you know, my mom loves anything to do with the cash flow, right?
Oh yeah, she loves that cash flow. Who doesn't though?
Yeah, well, we all do, right?
Yeah.
Anyway, with that said, friends, I'd like to thank you once again for watching, and for Roots, I'm Wes. We'll see you tomorrow, friends. Bye-bye.